Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. We're back here, beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where we're supposed to have 105-degree temperatures today, and I'm not complaining. I like the heat. I just don't like the cold. So we're back here. I got a couple basement airs going on this week. We got one that should be getting shipped in, coming from Florida for repair, so that one should be showing up anytime. But yeah, so the boys are rolling in this morning. Thanks again for all the comments last week. You know, my mom and dad are doing a little better, but again, they're at that age where it's just difficult. So still a lot of hard conversations got to happen right there. Joys of having older parents. So we're gonna go down here this morning. I've got things rolling in, so we're gonna go take a look. Welcome back. All right, another project here in the shop is this big Vetra with a 6537. Now, I just pulled this out of the ductwork down here. The customer had stated that it wasn't cooling correctly. Now, there was no screws in this, and this was just pressed up against here. So as he was driving down the road, obviously it's sucking all the air out of there. So we're gonna go in here and change this up and put some of Mr. Lewis's sealing in there. We're actually gonna move the air conditioner back just a little bit to reposition to close up that gap. So other than that, the unit looks good. Now, the duct bill is missing, so we're gonna change that up while we're down here also. When I talk in my videos about that duct bill and how important that duct bill is, look how much moisture is being pushed through this ductwork because the duct bill is moving, is missing. So you can see what's going on here with that being out. All right, you can see I've got the filter open. We're actually freezing a little bit down there on the bottom. Got frost on it. Next project here in the shop is a 6538. And unit's actually in good shape. I mean, it runs good. We updated outdoor fan bearing like we always do, but look at that right there. That's a problem. Mr. Lewis got the pan out, and yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an issue, so we're going to go build a pan for it. All right, so Mr. Lewis has got a new pan built for that, so get rid of the old crusty one that was in there. So just getting it all ready to be put back together, get all the covers put on it. So we're back here on the school bus build out, and as you can see, they've come a lot further along here. Just been in here with the routing all the edges, getting rid of all the sharp corners, just getting the faces on here. So they're moving along, just you know, trying to make everything look right before we paint it. But yeah, just been a lot going on in here. All right, so this big Solitude's the next one here in the shop with a roof situation. So I've been busy with basement airs down there with Mr. Lewis, but the boys they're into this one. As you can see, they've got this pretty well tore down. So getting it all prepped. See what they got going on with the wood and stuff. But yeah, pretty much tore down here. So a few little spots where we've got some issues with the wood having problems. But moving right along, just a lot of prep work on a big coach like this. Projects here in the shop is this Winnebago Journey with 6537, and the customer said it wouldn't run. Now they have updated the board. Mr. Lewis was working on this, but I didn't get down here in time. But you see these wires right here. This is part of the IntelliTech system inside the coach, and typically these tie into Relay 2 right there. But for testing purposes, we're going to put them together. But now the customer actually had, if you see right there, that orange and black wire, that red wire there is actually the PTC. So now he's trying to put high voltage on low voltage. So at this point, what we have found out is when this thing runs, we have no compressor 1. Now we have 120 coming in, and when the relay clicks, we do have 120 coming out. So there is 120 on compressor 1, but the compressor's not coming on. So at this point, we're going to have to pull the unit out and see what's going on. Either the thermal overload has popped on the compressor or the compressor's just bad, but we do have to pull it out to check that and see what's going on. But guys, if you're having trouble with these board installations, I have a very nice video that's very, very simple on my webpage, ColemanBasementAir.com. Mr. Lewis got in here and we pulled this out. Now here's the one to come out, and so listen to this. They're not supposed to sound like that. So yes, definitely bad one. Now again, we're gonna wash it, update that bearing, straighten the coils, get everything cleaned up, but he's gonna test it right quick, make sure it works. But yeah, not supposed to make those noises. So here's something kind of interesting, and I've had a lot of Winnebagos that have come through the shop over the years, and that Meridia right there, I mean, you can see that paint scheme. But what's kind of funny about that is we had this one come in the other day, and I don't know if I've ever had two identical paint job Meridias or even Journeys or anything. I mean, two of a kind right there. Not something I've seen come through here before. So, you know, the paint schemes are always off a little bit, but yeah, I got twinsies here today. Project came in the shop, and this is more of a me project because, again, remember my first career was welding, and we built a lot of excavator buckets. And this customer brought this one in, and you can see how bad that is. So here in the next couple weeks or so, I'm going to get this one into the shop and work my magic on it. We had a Winnebago Journey that came in a few weeks ago. We did a refrigerator, did some basement air repair on it, and then there was an issue with the slide switch that was not allowing the slides to run in and out correctly. Now, the boys they found out the slide switch was bad, but this thing was low on transmission fluid. So put transmission fluid in it, cycled everything, it was working great, and then when they went to put the shore cable up, they found that there was hydraulic fluid dripping into the bay down there. Let me show you what we found. You can see that I have the bed pulled out of here at the moment, and this is the cylinder that runs the slide in and out. You can see that's an HWH, but look at all the hydraulics fluid, transmission fluid that's been leaking on the ground here. Now, I did get in contact with HWH. These are the little lines that provide pressure to this. So we don't know if the line's got a problem. We don't know if the cylinder inside this tube has got a problem. Now, understand when I talked to HWH about that, the only way to get to this is to pull this out. So I'm just doing some investigating right now because I really don't know if it's just a fitting, is the cylinder leaking, is the lines broke. I really don't know what the problem's going on here. But obviously with this thing leaking, I can't, now we're having the jacks don't want to stabilize right. The slide's not obviously working, and because we obviously got air in the line and everything's kind of moving around here, we got to figure out what the problem is here. So this is what I'm working on at the moment. Here's the bad part about this whole thing is this unit didn't come in for any of this. And, obviously we're double checking everything to verify the switch is working correctly and that the hydraulic pumps are moving everything correctly. We did find that it was low transmission fluid. We did do that, but now this is leaking. So, I called the customer yesterday and had that conversation with him. Of course, well, it didn't do that before I brought it up there to you. And, this ain't my fault. Well, there's nothing we could have done that caused this. And he said, well, you put too much fluid in it. Well, if that's the case, it would have been puking out of the tank. I mean, overflowing the tank's not going to affect a cylinder or a hose to leak, and we never messed with anything on the pump as far as pressure or valves or anything of that nature. So yeah, he's not happy with me right now because, again, it didn't leak before you had it. And this comes back to the same conversation we have of I haven't used it in a year, but I took it out for the first time and the work you did on it don't work. Well, again, guys, this is RV. I mean, obviously I know you're frustrated that you brought it in for something else, and this is where we're at. So I mean, all I can do is, do you want me to look at it or do you not want me to look at it? So I'm looking at it at the moment because that's the direction we want to go, but I got to figure out where the leak's at to be able to tell him, what's it going to cost to do it, because I really don't know. I've never had one of those parts, never had one that was leaking before. So, I've talked to HWH. I've got all the drawings. I've talked to their mechanic. They have no idea. Got to pull it out. So that's what we're doing. All right, we got the cylinder out of the slide out of this Winnebago, and as you can see, the front seal's blowed out. This is 6537 that Mr. Lewis is working on. He's got the new compressor in there, and we went to run it and only had 2 amps on compressor 2. So he put a tap in it, no charge. So what we found out was that this right here, the coil had been punctured by that screw. I called the customer on this and was like, hey man, has somebody else been working on this unit? And he said, yeah, I had a guy in Wisconsin that worked on it, and he took it apart and put it back together, and it hadn't worked. And I said, well, the bad part is he ran a screw through that coil, and the bad part is if you ran that compressor more than 5 minutes without any oil running through it, it got the compressor. And I mean, that's just, that's what we've seen over the years. So unfortunately, that one there is going to have to end up getting 2 compressors, just because we don't know. I mean, we could try, but again, it's a 20-year-old compressor. So that one's going to get a new compressor, and then he's going to get it put back together. But yeah, gotta be careful when you put those screws back in those units, or that's what ends up happening. Let's take a look at the Cumberland County book bus. The boys have been in here this week working. Now they've got this. This is the little table for whoever's working in the bus, and that comes up, and little checkout counter, and they've got their supplies and stuff. But as you can see, they've got the cabin's pretty well done. I'm just working on getting it all finished up. Got the little headers up here, but yeah, it's coming along. These are going to be little cabinets for the kids to sit. And then I can't remember, I think they were going to open up maybe and have storage in there. I'm pretty certain that's what we talked about. But yeah, there you go. And then all this is going to get painted. They got to paint the insides of these and the outsides. And then there's actually going to be LED lights up inside that'll turn on. So yeah, it's coming along very nicely. All right, so Mr. Lewis has got this 6537 all put back together. You can see what his amp draws were. So this one was doing great. I mean, we had 17.6, but we tested it with our other baffle, and it was actually over 20. So it's cranking pretty good. But 2 compressors, 2 biflow valves. This one actually has a new board. So, I mean, basically the new unit right here. So he's going to get it put back in the unit now and test it there. But and this one did have some issues with the that is not his 90. Mr. Lewis actually had his 90. Had to go in there and do a bunch of work on it because it was definitely coming apart right there. So he's got it to a point now where they're getting ready to put this one. He's getting ready to put this one back in, and then we'll retest. Right, so this journey is all buttoned up. Now, we did have a problem. You saw where that wire, somebody had tied a capacitor wire to the low voltage portion of the thermostat and had actually damaged the thermostat. So they got a updated Coleman thermostat because the other one was all burned up. So there's their new updated thermostat, and this thing is really kicking in here right now. So this customer is good to go. All right, well, there you go. That's it for us here at Shelburne RV this week. I've tried to grab as much as I could, and you got to see it as I got to see it. So yeah, there it is. This guy right here was actually out, I don't know, were you out Monday and Tuesday? Yeah. He was under the weather. Now it was 102 degrees, so I'm not sure if he was just trying to skip out the heat and not come to work, or if he actually didn't feel good. I don't know. Were you sick? He says he's sick, but it was hot here, so you never know. I mean, I might have called in too. But he was sick. That's what he tells me. Anyways, so there you go. How things been down here for the 3 days that you've been here? Yeah, traffic? Traffic's been good? Yeah. So, yeah, he sees them all. He gets and you get to come down here and see him. I mean, you literally get his autograph when you come down here and check in with your camper. So, if If you haven't been by, come by and see him. So that's going to finish us up this week. Hey, thanks again for all the comments. Mom and Dad they're plugging along, but obviously again we got to have some conversations about their future. But yeah, again, thanks for everybody who's commented about that. But anyways, so yeah, we're done for this week. Gary, I hope to see you for 5 days next week.
Me too.
Hey, I hope he'll be here. So we'll see. But we got a lot on our place next week, and we got a gentleman coming in from Missouri next week that's going to be doing some training with us. And then we do have another guy the week after that is coming on as a 2-ton basement air dealer for us out of Texas. He's a little bit out of Houston. So he'll be out here in 2 weeks doing training with us. So yeah, we'll have an option for you Texas folks. So yeah, just moving along. So there you go. Thanks for watching. And as always, this video is when he's here at work. Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.